Now, I know you've all heard of a white Christmas, but have you ever heard of a pink Christmas? Huh? Hi, I'm Kim, and welcome to my channel. On this episode of Macaronomics, I'm going to teach you how to make macaron sugar cookies. Mind blown. But have no fear, we're decorating these pretty pink little creatures with our favorite sprinkle mix. You guys knew I was gonna put a girly touch on this. I can't help myself. And plus, the world would be a prettier place with pink in it. Or a crazier place. But before we start, please subscribe to my channel, ring that bell for notifications for new content, and like this video for even more baking videos. I will be posting the recipe and links to the products I'm using in the caption below. And guys, please take advantage of the comment section below to ask me any questions you want and to suggest future recipes and videos. Thank you. So the sugar cookie recipe is one of the easiest cookie recipes out there, besides the chocolate chip cookie recipe, of course. To start this party, we're going to use the creaming method to combine our sugar and our butter. So the creaming method is important to a cookie dough recipe as a meringue is to a macaron recipe. If you mess up the creaming method, you're essentially gonna mess up your whole cookie dough. I'm using a stand mixer with a paddle attachment, and the difference between the paddle attachment and a whisk attachment is I usually only use whisk attachments for egg whites, whipping egg whites, because it really incorporates the ingredients really well and it really whips that air into it. The paddle is used for batters and cookie doughs, so it incorporates the ingredients, but just enough without over mixing them. That's the difference between the two attachments. If you have the whisk attachment instead of the paddle attachment, that's fine. You can still do this recipe. Just be careful not to over mix your cookie dough. So you want to make sure that your butter is soft but still cold. You don't want it to be too soft. Add it to your bowl. Add your sugars. And we're going to mix these together. We'll start on low so the sugar doesn't go everywhere. And then you can increase it to medium. And when the sugar is combined with the butter, you can increase your speed to high. And basically you're going to mix it until it's double in size and a light yellow or almost a white. It's imperative that you scrape down the sides of the bowl during this process so that everything gets incorporated evenly. Back on high, the butter and sugar mixture has doubled in volume, and you can see that it's a very pale yellow, almost white color, and that's what we're looking for. And I did that for about 5 minutes. I would seriously do that actually. So the mixture is complete once it's very fluffy, double in sized, and a pale yellow, almost like a white in color. And then we're going to add our egg and the vanilla and mix the mixture until it's just incorporated. In the meantime, I like to whisk all of my dry ingredients together, so we'll combine the flour and the baking soda and baking powder. This is a great recipe to start with cookies because I feel like once you get like a sugar cookie recipe down, I think you can kind of go anywhere from there. You can whisk this with a whisk or a fork, probably in a bigger bowl than I'm using so you don't get it all over the place. A sugar cookie recipe is a great place to start as a baker. It's one of the easiest cookie dough recipes to make, and I feel like it's a great foundation to go from there. I mean, if you can't make a sugar cookie recipe, what are we doing? What are we doing? Start this on low, and we're just gonna add it slowly without getting it all over our kitchen. That's the goal. Mix it until it's just incorporated. And you want to keep it on a low speed so it doesn't go everywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah, finish her off. Give it a good mix. Scrape down the bowl. Oh yeah. Taste for a sugar high. And then we'll just Give it a final mix, just until all ingredients are incorporated perfect. It's really important you don't want to overmix this because you don't want to melt the butter, because if you melt the butter, the cookie won't rise. Now I have some plastic wrap here, and we're going to transfer the cookie batter, the cookie dough, onto the plastic wrap. Just form it into a disc. You can divide it in two, but I'm gonna do it all today. I'm gonna use it all. And we're gonna fold it up. I'm gonna put this now into the refrigerator and let it chill for about 15 to 30 minutes just so the butter can solidify. BRB. The cookie dough has had time to chill, and now we're going to roll it out. If you have a marble countertop, that's perfect. You can just put a little bit of flour on your marble countertop and roll it out to about 1/8 of an inch thick. Or if you have OCD like I do and you don't want to make a mess, you can use a sheet of parchment paper and some flour and roll it out on that. So take your dough, open her up out of the plastic wrap. Slap her on down a floured surface. And roll her out until it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. And then we're gonna take this macaron cookie cutter, and I will post a link below of where you can purchase your macaron cookie cutter, and we're gonna cut out cookies. If you have to roll the dough back up into a ball and roll it back out to 1/8 inch thick, then go ahead and do that. Then place them onto a sheet pan with either lined with parchment paper, or I prefer to use a nonstick silicone baking mat. And I'm going to put them in the refrigerator for about an hour to let them set, because I don't really want them to rise or double in size. If you chill your butter, they won't spread out as evenly once they hit the heat. You're going to bake them at 375 degrees to about 6 to 8 minutes. I don't really like them golden brown. I like them lightly brown to no browning. The cookies are out of the oven and they are cooling, and the great thing about these sugar cookies is they really don't take that long to cool. While they are cooling, we're going to make our royal icing. It took me a while to create the perfect royal icing recipe, and I created one that is thick and it doesn't run all over the place, and it has the perfect smooth finish to it. So this time we're using a whisk attachment. A whisk attachment is really good to use for meringues because it really incorporates the ingredients well together while also whipping a lot of air into the ingredients. So this is how I make my royal icing. I start with eggs, and you can use fresh egg whites or pasteurized egg whites in a carton, and I'm going to pretty much add the sugar. The hell? And I'll be adding the water in a second. I'm going to start mixing this on a very low speed, or else this shit is gonna go everywhere. You can drizzle the water down the side of the bowl. Also, as a side note, you wanna make sure that your bowl is extremely clean from when we just made the sugar cookie dough, because fat and egg whites don't mix. And this is gonna go for about 7 to 10 minutes until it has doubled in volume. So when the meringue is finished, it'll be nice and thick, and I'm gonna add a couple of drops of white gel food coloring, just a couple. And then we're gonna divide the other half, and we're gonna color that pink. Now we're gonna take each cookie, and we're gonna start with the center of the macaron with the white royal icing. This is the filling, and you don't wanna have too much royal icing. You can just use a little bit, and then we'll do something that's called flooding, and you can take a toothpick to fill in some of the holes with the existing royal icing. And after that, we're going to put our favorite sprinkles onto them. Here I'm using Sprinkle Pops Merry and Bright, but you can add whatever sprinkles you want. And you want to do this fast before the royal icing dries because it tends to dry quickly. But be very careful because you don't want it to run all over the place either. Once you're finished with your filling, we're going to pipe the shells of the macaroons with the pink royal icing. My favorite part because I love me some pink. Can't you tell? Once you pipe the top and bottom of each cookie, you're going to let that dry. Notice how I left a space between the royal icing and the shells. I'm going to, once that dries, make the feet. Once those have set, you can start piping your feet on the top and bottom part of the shell. It's okay if it overlaps a little bit of the white filling. You don't want to do it too much. And now you're going to let those dry as well, because then we're going to take a toothpick and poke holes into the feet to create that kind of perforated foot look on a macaron. Isn't science fun, kids? Now you want to let these set completely for about an hour to 2 hours. And there you go. This is the result of our pink macaron sugar cookies. You know, it's kind of mind-blowing in the sense of macaron sugar cookies, like chicken fried steak, right? It's like, what? But a good surprise. It's a good surprise. Let me know if you guys want to see even more sugar cookie recipes down in the comments. I'm loving me this pastel Christmas theme. What do you guys think about it? I mean, hell, I don't need a theme, a reason to do pink. Clearly. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, ring that bell for notifications for new content, and for even more content that won't even be on this page, follow my Facebook and my Instagram page. If you're going to replicate any of my recipes, please add a hashtag creme macaroons to your photos and videos so I can see, like, and share them to my stories. And as always, stay safe, stay happy, and keep baking.